In 1975, the United States National Academy of Sciences released a report that should have rewritten the future of food. They identified a single plant and called it something unheard of in scientific literature, a supermarket on a single stalk. They concluded it could eliminate protein deficiency across large parts of the developing world. Every part of the plant was edible: root, leaf, flower, pod, seed, 5 distinct foods from one organism. It contained more protein than soy, more calcium than milk, and it fertilized itself by pulling nitrogen directly from the air. No chemical inputs required. Half a century later, most people have never heard its name. And that silence carries a price tag measured in malnutrition charts and fertilizer company profit margins. This plant is called the winged bean, Psophocarpus tetragonolobus, a complete crop that never disappeared but was quietly removed from public awareness because it offered something dangerous: independence. Welcome to nature's blacklist. Before we open this vault, understand what this story actually is. This is not about a forgotten vegetable. This is evidence. Evidence of how a system built on dependence reacts when a solution appears that does not ask permission, payment, or continued input. So let's begin with what you are losing right now by not knowing this plant exists. You are paying for nitrogen fertilizer, season after season. The winged bean produces its own through a symbiotic relationship with bacteria living in its root nodules. While you are writing checks to chemical suppliers, this plant is feeding itself and restoring the soil at the same time. Whatever you plant after it benefits from that free fertility. You are searching for complete protein. You are buying powders. You are combining grains and legumes based on charts published decades ago. Meanwhile, the winged bean seed contains all essential amino acids in proportions comparable to animal protein. 35 to 40% protein by dry weight. Soy, the reigning champion of plant protein, averages closer to 34%. This plant matches it, and some varieties exceed it. You are dependent on supply chains that fracture under stress. You watched it happen in 2020. Empty shelves, spiking prices, panic buying. And somewhere in Southeast Asia, a plant capable of feeding entire communities with no imported inputs continued growing quietly in backyard gardens because nobody ever told you it existed. This ignorance was not accidental. The solution was documented, verified, and then abandoned. Here is where the story becomes undeniable. In 1975, the National Academy of Sciences assembled a panel to evaluate underutilized tropical plants with economic potential. The winged bean made the final cut. The language used in the report was unusually strong for a conservative scientific institution. They called it a one-species supermarket. They highlighted that nearly every part of the plant was edible and nutritionally dense. They explicitly identified it as a candidate to combat protein malnutrition where meat was scarce or unaffordable. The report was published. Research institutions took notice. Field trials began in the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, and parts of Africa. The results confirmed what local farmers already knew. This plant delivers. Then something happened. The momentum stopped. Funding dried up. Agricultural extension programs that were meant to introduce the winged bean to farmers at scale simply never materialized. Now look at the timeline. In the same decade this report was released, agrochemical corporations were heavily investing in herbicide-resistant crops. Within 20 years, genetically modified soybeans would dominate global agriculture. Seeds engineered to be repurchased every season, crops dependent on proprietary chemicals. A closed loop of recurring revenue presented as progress, The winged bean required none of that. No annual seed purchases, no fertilizer contracts, no chemical dependency. It did not create customers, it created autonomy. One path led to perpetual profit, the other led to food sovereignty. Only one of those attracted investment. By the 1990s, billions of dollars were flowing into patented seed varieties and genetically modified corn and soy. Meanwhile, the winged bean sat preserved in germplasm banks, cataloged, studied, ignored. Ask yourself why a plant this valuable received almost no sustained funding, while crops that lock farmers into dependency received unlimited capital. Ask who benefits when solutions that do not require corporate participation fade from public memory. The winged bean cannot be patented in its natural form. It reproduces itself. It fixes its own nitrogen. It thrives in marginal soils. It produces food continuously over months. It does not require fertilizer companies. It does not require seed monopolies. It does not require you to come back next season with your wallet open. And so it was quietly shelved. Now let's examine exactly what was buried. The seeds contain 35 to 40% protein. That number matters. This is not incremental. This is competitive with the most industrialized protein crop on Earth. But unlike soy, which dominates due to infrastructure and lobbying, the winged bean thrives without support. The leaves are edible. Their protein content rivals spinach with added calcium and iron. They can be eaten raw or cooked like any green. The flowers are edible. In traditional cuisines, they are used for color and a mild sweetness. The immature pods are eaten like green beans. Their four-wing shape gives the plant its name. These pods contain fiber, protein, and vitamins A and C. The mature seeds are cooked like dry beans. They provide complete protein and significant fats. They can be boiled, roasted, or ground into flour. And here's the part most people never hear. The winged bean forms underground tubers, starchy storage organs with protein levels reported between 15 and 20%. Compare that to the common potato at roughly 2% protein. 5 foods, 1 plant, leaf, flower, pod, seed, tuber, and it fertilizes itself while producing them. Like other legumes, the winged bean hosts nitrogen-fixing bacteria in its roots. These microbes convert atmospheric nitrogen into usable forms. When the plant sheds roots or dies back, that nitrogen remains in the soil. Plant the winged bean once, and future crops benefit. This is not efficiency. This is disruption. Globally, over $200 billion are spent annually on synthetic nitrogen fertilizer. 200 billion. Plants like the winged bean represent a fundamentally different model of soil fertility. Not an improvement, a replacement, and almost no one talks about it. In Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, the winged bean has been cultivated for generations. It was never exotic. It was staple food. Farmers didn't need Latin names or research papers. They saved seed. They passed it down. They planted it alongside other crops. They harvested leaves early, pods mid-season, seeds later, and tubers at the end. Colonial agricultural systems favored export crops and monocultures. Food sovereignty was replaced with cash dependency. The winged bean was not exportable. It was not scalable for profit. It fed families, not markets. And food that feeds communities does not generate shareholder value. Here is how to identify it. The winged bean is a climbing vine. It needs support. A trellis, a fence, corn stalks. It can grow 3 to 4 meters in a season. The leaves are trifoliate, like other beans. The pods are unmistakable. 4 raised ridges run lengthwise, forming wings. No other common bean looks like it. If you see a 4-winged pod, you've found it. The flowers range from pale blue to violet, sometimes white. The tubers resemble elongated potatoes. Not all varieties produce large tubers, so source accordingly. There are no known toxic lookalikes. Mature seeds should be cooked thoroughly to neutralize natural inhibitors. Young pods, leaves, and flowers can be eaten raw or lightly cooked. And now the most important part. You can grow this plant. It was never outlawed. It was never banned. It was erased through silence. No seed catalogs promoted it. No extension offices mentioned it. But the seeds exist. Heritage seed companies carry them. Seed exchanges trade them. In tropical and subtropical climates, it thrives. In temperate zones, it requires a long season or greenhouse support. Full sun, something to climb. Poor soil is not a problem. It produces continuously, not all at once. Every winged bean you grow is a quiet rejection of the system that buried it. Every seed you save spreads knowledge someone preferred stay hidden. Every meal harvested from a single plant that provides 5 foods is proof that the industrial food narrative is incomplete. They told you food requires complexity, inputs, dependency. The winged bean has disproved that for centuries. The 1975 report still exists. You can read it. What you will not find is the global rollout that should have followed. Because revolutions that remove corporate relevance do not receive funding. The knowledge was never lost, only buried, and now you know where to dig. The algorithm is watching. What happens next determines whether this reaches a handful of people or an entire generation. If you like this, you tell the system it matters. If you share it, you give someone a key that was hidden for 50 years. And if you subscribe to Grown Folks Gardening, you are not following content. You are choosing memory over amnesia. The next vault is already sealed. There is a grain that reseeds itself. No replanting, no purchases. It was labeled a weed because it threatened the annual seed model. That vault opens